Hello, I'm David Hoffman, filmmaker, and I'm going to tell you a story about a time in my life and a company that I started, which I'm really proud of and came at a very historically interesting time. So the time is 1975, cold winter night. My production company is in a small town in Maine, and I'm having a party. And two women are at the party who are talking to each other, and I hear what they say, and it's, when men aren't around, women talk differently. Interesting idea, say I. Can we do something with it? And it happened that at that time, I was noticing greeting cards. Now, greeting cards were largely Hallmark, all nicey pretty, perfect little cards, sweetsy, 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 kind of like the 1950s. Everybody doing everything right, everybody just all perfect. And I knew that when men aren't around, women talk differently because these women said it. So I started a greeting card company with these women called Mainline Greeting Cards because we were in Maine. And I had these old postcards that I collected, and I said, hey, let's print up these old postcards with some more contemporary phrases. So here's a few. Walter keeping it under his hat. I must get something off my chest. You can fiddle with me anytime. Now that one, that was a phrase that was on the old card, but we put it in a more contemporary typeface. And then a couple that don't have anything at all, like this one, made in Germany in the 1890s, or this one, France in the 1920s. And we go to the New York gift show. The New York gift show. Fancy. Big card companies. Everybody's there. And our little postcards, 40 of them, are a major hit. A sellout. What's going on? Everybody's excited about what we're saying. So we start the idea of women's cards for women by women. Women are making the cards. We have a little shop. We invite women around the country to send in phrases and art, and all kinds of stuff comes at us. Wonderful stuff, hilarious stuff, including the famous Sylvia. She did so many cards for us. I bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget you're a man. That was a song at that time. That woman must be on drugs. It's sad but true. When you unzip a man's pants, his brains fall out. It's amazing that these cards just were so provocative, they were selling all over the country in independent gift shops, and we were doing really well. Getting Sylvia, getting other great artists, young artists, here's one. Come on, admit it, it's a man's world, but men can't do everything. They can't fake orgasms. Huge hit. I'm going to show you two that were really big hits. This one, an old postcard, I'm always making the wrong choice. Huge seller. I think it maybe sold 1 million copies. And another one, probably one of our biggest hits, I Give Good Phone, 1905 photograph, and I don't know, it worked. So we were booming. We had 45, 50 people working, all kinds of news. You're about to see a clip, and this clip was national primetime television. 8 minutes on our little company. Stick with it when it's over. I'm going to tell you what happened to the company. We were supposed to make a lot of money. We were destined to make a lot of money, but that didn't happen.
Here's a good one. There we were, alone in his penthouse. I slipped out of my dress, turned off the lights, and whispered, "Make me feel like a real woman." So he asked me to rinse out his socks. Well, no one ever accused the Mainline Greeting Card Company of being traditional. The brainchild of Joyce Boaz and Perry Ardman, Mainline cards are a collection of humorous, perceptive, woman-oriented communications. And Joyce and Perry are laughing all the way to the bank.
Mainline was started about 5 years ago, and it was very scary.
We had no idea what we were really in for, but the competition is very fierce. We were working in our homes. We had
Working out of bathtubs.
We had cards in our bathtubs.
Cards, and Perry and I would count 12 cards, 12 envelopes, wrap them, ship them. In those days, I wished I could type with my feet so I could answer the phone with both my hands. I mean, it was crazy in the beginning.
First one off. And
this year we expect to gross $1 million in sales, and it's wonderful.
The outside of the card would read, "Behind every successful woman, there's
a huge charge account and massive anxiety."
There's a man waiting for his dinner. That's pretty good.
Our cards start with the words because of the things that we're trying to convey and the point of view that we have.
The message is really important.
We look for a point of view that most women will be able to identify with. If the card can only be sent by somebody who's 5'2" and has blue eyes, then it's not a good card because it's a very limited market. So one of the first things we're looking for is a universality and an element that we call sendability.
Your heart is broken. You are sure that you will never, never get over him. I know how you feel. I cried for days over... what's his name?
The greeting card industry is dominated by men, which is quite surprising when you think that women are more than 90% of the market. And what comes out of those companies is very often a man's view of what a woman is. In our company, what we come out with is a woman's view of what a woman is, and sometimes we really have to reflect on that ourselves because it's been a man's world for so long that even our own view of ourselves is colored by what we've learned from men.
My name is Gertrude Claus. The elves and I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. We're the ones who do all the work.
And you said you wouldn't tell.
I lied. I know you were hoping I'd spend the holidays with you and your delightful family, but my doctor has insisted that I go to the mountains for my health. Happy holidays.
Women and men, they both like our cards, and they read a card and they say, oh, I have felt that way.
Congratulations. You'll find that marriage is the second greatest challenge. The first is swimming the Amazon River, covered with peanut butter. Good luck.
Yeah.
There's a different talent in writing a greeting card. You have about 5 seconds in a greeting card store to catch somebody's attention, so it's very difficult. And we put very complicated messages out there. It's not just happy birthday, have a wonderful day.
We talk about things in our cards that traditional card manufacturers or card companies won't discuss. How it feels when you make a mistake in your choice of a male and to have a relationship with, what it's like to have kids, what it's like to be dealing with a boss.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like the office. There's no place like the office. Don't think of your breakup with him as the end of a relationship. Think of it as a narrow escape from being trampled to death by a herd of drooling water buffaloes.
You can smell food all the way across the lake, can't you?
We do things with a woman's point of view, but we don't do cards that are intentionally nasty to men. We like men. We need them. So what we do is for women, but it's not against men, although we do like to poke fun at both men and women. When you live in Maine, it's a different kind of experience than living in the city. There's good printing here. Most of our suppliers are here, and we can rely on local talent. And we'd like being able to support the state in that way. We've been brought up with the idea that to be a successful woman in business, you have to be nasty. You have to give up something of yourself and your femininity. And we're out to prove that that isn't true. We get letters from people who have received our cards, and somehow the cards have made a difference in their attitude toward life, have given them a more positive outlook, have made them laugh when they've been crying before.
Behind every great woman is another great woman. Thanks, Mom.
Now here's a card that's kind of interesting. If you knew what a good time you could have, you'd come like a rocket. You'd think we'd made that up. But this was from 1905. We just changed the typeface. And they sold this in kind of beach resort towns as a postcard. This was a postcard. So we certainly weren't any more obscene than they were way back then. So what happened? Well, in 1979, big year for us, we have probably 200 cards. And we're there at the show, and all the cards are on the wall. And 3 men come over, very dark suits, very properly dressed, with tape recorders. And they're opening up our lines, and they're reading all our lines. Who are these guys? Hallmark. Hallmark? I contact my local lawyer. What am I supposed to do about this? These guys are stealing our ideas. And the lawyer says, David, you got 15 years and several $1 million. You can sue Hallmark. If not, they're just going to steal your ideas. And 6 months later, Hallmark came out with Shoebox Greetings, now a multi-billion-dollar business of women's cards. They've changed the company totally. And we were a factor in that. So I was forced to sell. The women I was with all got little bits of money. We sold basically for the stock we had, and we were gone. What's the lesson in that? Number one, I didn't understand how the market works, how you have to take market share and get market share so fast that you can beat the other guys before they beat you. I didn't know anything about that until years later when I moved to California and I started to see startups. So I hope you've enjoyed this. You can probably still find some of these cards out there, but if not, I guess Hallmark isn't making those anymore. Thank you very much for watching. And if you're a young startup, well, take a lesson from me. I just didn't know how to beat the big guys. Maybe that's something you got to know if you got a great idea like we did. Take care.